Welcome back to another video, guys. You don't know, say it's them here again with another video for you guys. In today's video, I will be doing another story time. As you guys can see, I'm here by myself today. Not is good. If you're wondering, not is good. She is just severely pregnant. If you're new here, guys, just go ahead and subscribe to this channel. What we do on this channel is premium Canadian content, all things Canada related. If you're thinking of relocating to Canada as an international student, temporary worker, a visitor, it doesn't really matter. What we do here is to share our own personal experiences, both going through the different processes and also integrating into a Canadian society. In addition to that, guys, just go ahead and smash that like button, and if you haven't already, make sure that that bell is turned on so you can be notified whenever we post a video. Okay, guys, leave a comment as well. Let me know where you're watching this video from. I'm very interested to know. We try to communicate with everyone, of course. We want to build a community that everybody help each other. So anyway, now we're later, guys, just big up on yourself. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned. Thank you guys so much for the overwhelming level of support that you guys has been showing us as well. Our channel it's growing, our community is advancing, and there are a lot of persons who are benefiting from this community in terms of both information, motivation, and also what would I say, and also the drive to go and complete their processes, right? A lot of persons are discouraged and they have gotten some level of motivation from this community. So let's keep it going, guys. So enough talking about that. Today's story time is a topic that not many persons talk about, if any persons talk about. This is something that I have personal experiences with, and also experiences that other persons have had as well. And the story time that I'll be talking to you guys about today is being black in Canada. Being black in Canada, guys. So what does it mean? Or does it affect you? If it does affect you, if it doesn't affect you, and also what you should also expect, right? Now, before I even get into that, I just want to say that Canada is a very big country. Now, being a very big country means that there's a lot of subcultures that may exist from province to province, cities to cities, and town to town. The experiences that I'm talking about is based on where I am at, and if you haven't known already, I am in Alberta. Alrighty, so there's a lot of good in Alberta, and there's also a few things that we can improve on, and one of those things is inclusiveness. And to begin the story, guys, what was it like coming to Alberta as a black man? First thing first, it is definitely an adjustment. I am from Jamaica, where race is not really like a big issue. It is looked on, yes, but it is not really like, it's not really important because it's predominantly a black country, and you have other races that are equally included just as much as a black community. Now here in Alberta, where I'm at, being black is not the majority. Being black is the minority, and it depends on also where in Alberta you live, because you probably have some communities where you have more blacks than others, and you did the other. But where I am at, blacks are very far and few in between. So yeah, that moving to Alberta was when I first realized that I was black. It sounds strange, yeah, you're black and all of that, but when I moved to Alberta, when it really creeped into me that, hey, you know that you're a real black man, because of how the transition was. So I came to Canada as an international student. So the first experience I had was with college, right? So I began classes, and then the first thing I immediately realized that I was the only black person in all of my classes. My classes were populated with like 95% whites, and I was the only black, and the different races were like probably Filipinos and Indians. So being black was like obvious, and in the entire college, guys, I'm telling you, I could probably count on like my both hands the amount of black students that were in the college at the time that I was going. And for me, that was like, it was like a little bit shocking, because I just didn't expect that. Of course, you know that you're coming to a new country and all of that, but you pretty much you didn't expect to feel like a minority. When you try to have like conversations with persons, I realized that they automatically assume that I was like from Africa. Like, oh, where in Africa are you from? Or where in that are you from? Like it is not assumed that you are from Canada when you are black. And also, like, the Caribbean is probably almost like an extension of of Africa in their eyes. So of course they didn't like mean anything negative when they were asking like, where in Africa are you from, or pretty much, are you from here and stuff like that. You get those questions a lot. So when someone wants to start a conversation, the conversation will start like, hey, where are you from? Because they automatically assume that you are not from here. Without even hearing your English, without even hearing if you have an accent or not, they automatically assume that you are not from here. And that for me was a little bit not challenging, but it was a little bit like very important to mention, because like that can be perceived as being offensive to a lot of persons, especially if it is that you have not experienced anything like that in your life before. Being the minority can be a little bit challenging. When you try to make friends, not everybody is want to be like open to being friends with you, and you do have a lot of persons who are also friendly, who are of different races, yes, but majority speaking, you have to be very careful of what you do. You have to be very careful of what you say, because you can be easily misjudged, easily perceived, and easily when I say no, people are easily think like make a wrong assumption about you, right? So you have to pretty much be firm, keep a personality, be open, and just transition, right? Like when we are in Jamaica, we can be our true selves. But when we are here, we can't necessarily be our true selves. We have to pretty much take a step back and like filter parts of ourselves, in other words, into the system, like in bits and pieces. We can't like dive right in. We can't like show everything that we're about, because like that's not the kind of society that was in school. Generally speaking, in terms of like grades and stuff like that, it didn't really affect me in terms of being black. Like there wasn't any form of like negative feedback in terms of like teachers are more hard on you, or our instructors are like failing you and stuff like that. I didn't personally experience that, but I've met persons who said that they felt as if they were like a little bit marginalized because they're black. And the persons who say this are mostly black females. They say that when they're in classes, like the teachers are usually like failing them for like the simplest things, and like their grades are usually not on par. Even when they do better than some of the other races, they feel as if they're like more harder. But personally speaking, I have not personally experienced that, but from information, most of the black men who I know, they say that they haven't experienced it, but most of the black females say that they have experienced it. So I'm not sure if it's like if it's a trend, if it's like a thing, but that's what I have heard. Like there are lots of black females who say that, hey, you know what, I feel as if I'm being like profile, I feel as if I'm being like attacked. And personally, I've known a few females who even had to like transfer to other provinces because they felt as if that they were targeted. But yeah, I can't speak for that personally. Now that's school. What about like society? So the thing that we notice is that there's a lot of staring. When you go to like the supermarket and like you're trying to like go through like aisles and stuff like that, you can feel like a lot of eyes on you. Like when you go into like, for example, a Walmart, or you go into like a different store, you can almost feel like someone is watching you, and oftentimes they are watching you. Not only the persons who work in the store in terms of making sure that no stealing and anything is happening, but also the other shoppers. The other shoppers are watching you. Like you try to walk through the aisle, you are like at a specific section looking for like an item. Someone wants that same item. Like for example, if it's another black person, you probably go right beside the person and be like, oh, I look for your thing. But if it's like another race person, they notice like a black person is in the aisle, what they do, they'll stand at a distance and they'll wait until you have moved off, then they move there. And yeah, COVID-19, that is a very excellent thing to do in terms of social distancing, but this not have nothing to do with COVID. This was way before COVID. And that personally, like sometimes I looked at that like when I just came and I couldn't understand it. Like I couldn't understand like why would they do that? Like in terms of like why would you like stand like a good like 8 feet away and just wait until someone is finished and then you go? And they don't do it with the other races with like their own risk. They'll go there and they'll stand beside them and they'll definitely, whatever. Also, what I realized with a lot of these black persons as well, we have become so accustomed to being the minority that we give up a lot of like intangible rights. And what I mean intangible rights in terms of like if you're like trying to fit through a door and like it's a 50-50, usually the black person would stop and then let the white person go through the door first. And then because we are just courteous persons, right? We do it because we are courteous and then we do it probably to another black person, but then it is almost expected intrinsically. Like after a little while, we started noticing that, okay, then why are we stopping to let this person go through the door? Or why are we stopping to let that person? Or why are we turning back to hold the door for this person? Which is simple courtesy, I know, but a lot of these persons don't do it. Like if they're going through the door first, they go and they don't even hold it sometimes for the other person behind them. And like black persons being as courteous as we are, we try to do it, and but that's our culture, but that's not their culture. And then that almost became like almost like an expectancy, like in terms of like, okay, then you should hold the door for them, or you should probably stop and let them go first and stuff like that. And then I just stopped doing that. Like legit, I just stopped doing that because like I realized that we were doing it. And if Nat's was here right now, she'll tell you guys the same thing. We realized that we were doing it, and it really and truly was starting to bug me because I'm like, why are we doing this and they're not doing it? And it's almost like expected. When we go to like a particular store, we like legit up to now we even hate going there because like it's like when we're in that particular store, we're the only black person in that store, and everyone is watching you. The cashiers are watching you. The security is watching you. The guy who cuts the meat in the back is watching you. The other shoppers are watching you, and we are like, what? Like, it's like, what is it? Well, like, what is it? And stuff. But like, we grew like thick skin in dealing with it, and like really and truly like. It's not a big issue like in the States. I'm sure it's worse in terms of like outward racism, but I think they are deep down, like I think it's systematic in terms of like they're not gonna outright come out and like say they're racist, but I think all of these little actions add up and contribute to suggest that probably they're not used to seeing like black persons. That's fine. It's almost like when we are in like a black country and we see like a white person, it's like almost like we stare as well. So probably it's like something like that, but it does make us feel a little bit uncomfortable sometimes. Now let's talk about being black in the workplace, guys. Now this is a very important topic because this is a topic that I that I have experienced personally, and hopefully you guys will experience it as well, in terms that you guys will be here and you guys will be working. When you are in a workplace, especially if you're in Alberta, guys, oftentimes, just like where everywhere else in society, you will be the minority. You will be working with a cohort or a bunch of colleagues who are all whites. And oftentimes, you might be the only colored person, as it's called, in the entire company, right? Now, being the only black person in a particular company, you have to work twice as hard. It's very simple as that. Otherwise, you're gonna be in the one same position and not much growth. And you have to like legit be careful of what you say, be careful of what you do, be careful of every single action, because the simplest of action can be misconstrued by someone else of being something else, and then before you know it, you are getting like a letter from HR. And I'm telling you guys, it might sound a little bit trivial to you guys now, but if it is that you guys are lucky enough to experience it, I'm telling you guys that it will all make sense to you, everything that I'm saying right now. When you get into a workplace here as a black person, just know that there's no friends in the workplace. Your coworkers are your coworkers, and personal is personal. Do not mix both, because I'm telling you guys, if you mix both, you're gonna end up regret it, and you have to work twice as hard as anybody else. That's the only way. That's the only way you can adequately grow fairly. Well, with that said, Canada is indeed an inclusive society in terms of there are a lot of labor laws and stuff like that really goes to providing inclusion and also protect workers like minorities like ourselves. If we feel as if we are marginalized against, if we feel as if we're discriminated against, then there are actions that we can take to really and truly bring justice to our particular situation, right? But there are borderline things that you can do nothing about. And that has a lot to do with culture, because especially if it is that you moved there straight from a country like Jamaica or straight from another third world country, there are a lot of stuff that we are not accustomed to. And like persons here in the workplace, what I realized, they are not very straightforward. So when we are from a country where if it is that you have an issue with somebody, especially in the workplace, we are used to going to that person directly and saying, you know that I didn't like this, or you know that whatever, I think that could have done better, or whatever the case is. And then that would probably be either a hard conversation or a soft conversation or whatever, based on your own communication skills. But the point is that will be said, done, and move on. Here, you can't do that. Well, you can do that, but the thing is, it's not really done like that. Someone has an issue with you. Instead of coming to you directly, that person is gonna smile, that person is gonna laugh, that person is gonna pretend like everything is fine, and then that person is gonna go to your supervisor, to your manager, and then make a bunch of complaints to say that, hey, you know that this happened, that happened, I didn't like this, I didn't like that, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. And then that same person is gonna come and be like, hi, how are you doing today? I hope you have a good day. And I'm telling you, that's how the workplaces function. Now, I'm not sure if this is just like done towards like with black persons and whatever, but that's exactly how the workplace is situated, right? You have to know that you're black, and you have to remember that you are black at all times, right? Like a few persons have experienced like racism, as in racism in terms of persons saying like, hey, why don't you learn to speak English? Or hey, why don't you go back to your country? And stuff like that, right? It does happen as well. And like personally, it has happened not to me but to a friend of mine. We went out for drinks one night, and we were there at the spot, and like he saw this girl that he used to work with, this white chick. So he's from Nigeria, right? So he went up to her and he's like, hi, what's up, what's up? And she's like, hey, how are you doing? And chit-chatting a bit. We were there even playing pool for a little bit. She came, she played with us, her friends, and yada. And then he was like saying something to her, and then she was like, why don't you speak English? I don't know still, but with a little accent, yes. But as far as I'm concerned, he's speaking English. And then she turned to me and she's like, I bet you your friend doesn't even know how to talk English. And I'm like, I'm not gonna tell her no, Mrs. Still, but yeah, she did get it. So all I was saying, if we never run her, she did get it, guys. But the point is, she was like trying to apologize. Oh, I'm just drunk, and oh, I'm just drinking, and oh, I'm just whatever. Bull crap. Because they use a lot of those stuff as excuses to say that they are drinking or they are drunk or they're whatever, but it's the truth. If you want to know the truth, guys, just get into an argument with one of them, and then you'll hear their true self. So you have to constantly remember that you are black, right? I'm not saying that you should like filter or you deal with people or you integrate with persons. What I'm saying is at all times you have to remember that you're black, and you have to remember that you are pretty much in a strange land. So you pretty much have to be willing to filter in, right? So I'm saying filter in, take your time, filter into the society, and then eventually you'll be fully integrated. You'll meet a few cool ones, you'll meet a few different race and different all of that. But majority speaking, guys, I'm telling you, for the black men now, guys, like myself, who like probably look every woman a pass, I'm telling you guys, this is not the society for that. You might end up in jail just because you probably tell one of these white chicks something and then you didn't follow through. They'll go to the police and they say stuff happened that did not happen. And this is something that I know personally that happens to a lot of friends of mine, guys, and they are paying the consequences for not remembering that they are black. All right. So yeah, pretty much that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Of course, we have a lot of interesting content coming up for you guys. Drop a like. on this video, of course. If you like the content, guys, consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed already. Share the video as well, guys, and join our community. If it is that you want to become a member of our channel, you can absolutely do it by hitting the join button right beside the subscribe button. But the thing is, it's only available in some countries. It's not available in Jamaica, guys. I'm sorry. We do have exclusive contents for all of our members. We do have like live discussions and all of that. We have some other platforms that we are about to unleash as well. Everything that you hear on our channel, guys, is based on our own personal experiences. We are no immigration officer. We are no immigration consultant, lawyers, or anything of the sort, guys. We are just real people just like you, and we are just happening to be living here just a little longer than some other persons, all right? We try to share all of our experiences with you guys, the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, we you know it, unfiltered 100%. All right, smash a like if you haven't liked already. And of course, drop a comment. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.